gentlemen, everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world, this is Coast to Coast, and everybody is here this morning. How you doing, guys?
I'm tired. I had a very busy weekend, but game one wasn't the best game. Game two was a lot better, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Those pesky little men.
You guys actually stay up to watch Sunday Night Football, or you say the hell with it since it was what 1 a.m. your time by the time it wrapped up?
I was watching. I had one eye open. I was half asleep, but yeah, I was still watching it for sure.
Because it was lightning, right?
Lightning and hail and wind and sirens and hail.
Hey, speaking of weather, Florida's about to get round two. It looks like Milton turned into a cat.
Do not tell me this, because I'm actually planning a trip to Florida in a week, and I'm highly.
You might want to take your waders.
Yeah,
it looks like it's gonna be pretty nasty.
It's gonna. It's supposed to hit the middle of the state, and it's a Cat 4 as it sits. So that'll probably do quite a bit of flooding.
Well, because we're supposed to be going to Disney at the end of October because our kids have like a fall break where they get off like 4 days of school. So we're just going like during their fall break. And I'm like, well, Florida hasn't had any hurricanes for like 2 months. But now they've had 2 in like 2 weeks. And I'm like, knowing my luck, we're going to go down there. We're going to get freaking leveled.
Orlando doesn't get tornadoes or hurricanes.
No,
I was going to say, you'll be
I think that's far enough inland that you're going to be fine.
You'll still get like the effects of it, though. You still get like the
thunderstorms,
which
Disney puts up that monster tent that goes around Disney World, and you guys don't get anything.
Yeah, it's the Magic City for a reason, right? Like they have their own.
No, don't tell me that, because last year when we went to Epcot, we had 17 straight hours of rain in Epcot. It was great.
One of the pipes burst.
No, it was just straight rain. The whole state of Florida. The whole state of Florida was green, and Epcot had 17 hours of rain.
You know, take that hat away from Mickey, and you'll be fine, right? And stay away from brooms. A lot of good action over the weekend, though, sports wise. And of course, for those of you tuning in, you would love to be part of our pre-show chat as we were talking about having to take your own sheets to hotels. So
highly recommended, by the way. And if you get a mattress protector, that's even better.
Hey, listen, the reason why we talked about that was because I am going up to New York for the game tomorrow, and I'm going to need to stay the night. I'm probably going to need to stay 2 nights, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, there's no good way of being able to bring my bag into the park.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to probably have to stay a second night, but I'm ready for it. Let's do it.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. And Chris, they won't forfeit games. That will never ever happen. They will remove all the fans.
Yeah.
And finish the game off.
Mm-hmm.
If that was to occur.
Even if it means coming back the next day to do it, they will do it.
Yeah, they might drag out some of those COVID cardboard cutouts, so it looks like somebody's there.
They probably still have all those pre-recorded CDs on file somewhere.
But it cracks me up. It cracks me up that, Philly fans get all the smack talk about, hey, how we are, the worst fans and whatever. Listen, LA only cares about the Dodgers. They don't give a crap about the Rams or
Chargers or
the Chargers.
They will fight in those games, though. They don't care about the teams, but they'll fight in the stands.
Yeah, they usually fight each other.
No, exactly. That's what I mean.
It's usually like Rams fans versus Rams fans.
Yeah.
So I find it ridiculous, but whatever. You know what I mean? The fact that it was a disgusting display. It was funny that he was going to grab the ball and just kind of throw it back into that second ball that got thrown. Like, he actually gave a ball to a Dodgers fan who's got a kid sitting right next to him, and he threw the ball away. All right, cool. He goes, and then somebody throws a home run ball that was hit earlier at him.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's what spawned the entire thing. And you know what? If that happened in Philadelphia, Philadelphia would be dragged through the mud.
sure.
Like that's all you'd hear in every news from ESPN to ABC News. You know what I mean? To how Philly fans are ridiculous, but nobody will say a word about LA. You know, all those friggin' liberal bitches over there who all going to be crying because they ain't
Here
got
we
no
go.
electricity anyways. Are all throwing trash and stuff on their own field. 54,000 fans that all act like assholes. Actually, 53,000 because there's a couple nice ones.
It's that moment.
By
Get
the way, if
popcorn,
you're
let's go.
if you live in California, we still love you.
No, see, the best part is LA does it, and it'll still be. Imagine if this happened, how much worse it would be if it was in Philly.
Right.
Yeah.
And like even like Philadelphia, like the Phillies and Mets fans. I mean, there's a lot of cursing that happens between these two fan bases.
Yeah, of course.
And I am very big on not cursing. I do not yell. After
Just
that.
don't rewind this tape like 10 seconds. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, I know how to curse. I just don't. While I'm there at the games. I like to give more
Fan
respect
base was
to
the
the
one throwing
players.
batteries. Do you remember there was a state where they were throwing batteries? God, why is that in my brain?
Oh, I remember throwing the batteries. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
throwing them at Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
And snowballs. Snowballs
Yeah,
packed
snowballs
around
at
batteries.
Santa. Snowballs at Santa. That was a good one.
I
No,
remember there was a place that was
snowballs
throwing
at Santa
batteries,
were
you
one
know?
thing, but we threw snowballs with batteries at Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
But yet we're pissed off that LA throws a ball too.
Well, no, LA not only threw balls, but they threw trash. Like they were just acting. Because you know why?
Yeah.
Because they're so used to getting kicked out of the playoffs
Oh, that's true.
that
That
this
is
is
true.
going to happen again. Padres came on; they may not even play another game in LA.
Yeah. It's crazy because those are the kinds of things that will lead eventually the Nets or whatever being resurrected to keep fans from throwing stuff on the field. Almost like hockey, if you will. The glass.
Joe, did you happen to watch that game yesterday, Joe? Here's what I've seen.
Careful.
I know that they won. So congratulations to the Cowboys. But anyways, after the interception, there was a lot of dissension in the ranks. You guys scored 20 points against Pittsburgh, which I guess has got a pretty decent defense.
They have a good defense. Yeah.
But I didn't see anything that makes you think that your team is going anywhere special at all.
Guy, relax. You right now, the Commanders are over you. Shut the hell up. What the hell are you talking about?
Here
Now,
we go.
I agree with you on that point that Dallas probably ain't going anywhere. But you're right now sitting underneath the freaking Commanders. When you can get on top of the division, you can actually talk some shit. Okay?
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
Shut
Shut your pie hole. Just because Dallas sucks and your Houston Astros shit the bed. Completely shit the bed. All you can do is cry. Do you need a freaking tissue? Do you need a tissue?
No. I don't need a tissue.
All I can say is all of you are looking up at my team.
Hey, look, for the first time I agree with you, Stan.
I mean,
you're not lying. You're not
the
wrong.
entire league is, which is the weirdest shit ever.
The funny thing is, yesterday was realistically the first game where Sam Darnold kind of looked like the Sam Darnold of the Jets. He had I think he was at like a 46% completion percentage. Did not play well at all. He had 0 touchdowns, 1 interception, but he did take a shot late in the second quarter where it looked like he broke his rib and he came back up. And ended up finishing the game, but after that hit, he really wasn't the same. So I'm wondering if that hit actually did take a little bit out of him, because the first half he was playing pretty well. He was, I think, through 1.5 quarters, he was like 10 for 17 passing, which isn't great, but he had like 120 yards, and then the rest of the game he was like 4 for 13 passing for only like 50 yards after that hit. So I'm wondering if that hit did have something to do with it, but Minnesota's defense bailed him out yesterday. Picked off Rodgers 3 times.
Well, and
that last one was so fugazi, though. It was fugazi. The refs are just. I guess they've been told to just keep their hands in their pockets when it comes to this offensive and defensive pass interference, because that was absolutely holding.
Yeah.
Held them up. Oh, the ball's to me. And then no call. I thought it was ridiculous, but
it
care.
was a penalty. I'll give you that, but at the same time, they were not calling those on Justin Jefferson all game. So if they're not going to call it on Justin Jefferson, you can't call it in that spot.
Yeah, at least you're going to not call it to keep it fair, right?
Like
so
Justin Jefferson had, I think, 1 pass interference called on the whole game, and it was where the guy pretty much like wrapped him around the bat, pretty much took his arm and pulled him down by the shoulders as the ball was in midair. But there was like 4 or 5 other plays where it was similar, where they were holding Jefferson the whole time, and Jefferson got a hand on it, so they didn't throw the flag. Well, if you're not going to throw the flag on those, you can't really throw the flag in that situation.
Yeah, they have been kind of consistent at not calling some of that stuff. I mean, a week ago they tackled DK and no flag comes out. So I mean, like they have been kind of consistent in letting these guys kind of battle it out a little bit, the hand checking and some holding. But some of them are so obvious that you're like, man, you got to throw a flag.
Like even on that last interception by Gilmore, though, that ball was so underthrown. Like if he throws that ball like any more like over the head of the wide receiver, I guarantee that play is called. But the fact that he threw it so underthrown and behind the receiver, where the receiver would have had to turn completely around to get it, that's probably why they don't throw the flag. Because if you're going to turn around to get it, the cornerback still has a play at that ball.
Well, I mean that's where Dak. He throws that pick. If he just got some air under it, that's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it was just wildly underthrown. It was kind of funny watching CD come back and be like, that's a subpar throw.
Hey, and he should, in all honesty. I mean, that's the thing about it, right? For the Cowboys, what I'm hoping they'll see more of is player accountability. And if you need your guys to come out there and hold each other accountable, that's great. I'm all for that,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it matters in that particular
It
situation.
probably does, but it's nice to see that
he threw a bad ball.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
If it ends up in the other team's hands, you probably are going to the sideline like, oh, you know what? I think I might have messed that up.
Yeah, for sure, right? Jeez. Yeah, absolutely.
Man. Yeah, I think this one.
Yeah, I gotta agree.
Does kind of take some of the hype away from Rodgers. I think everybody's kind of starting to realize he is what he is finally.
He got his ass kicked yesterday too. He got freaking lit up the whole game.
No. Like he was having a rough time back there.
You thought he might have been done after that knee.
Oh, I thought he was. I thought he was done after that third quarter. And if Sam Darnold would not have gotten intercepted like 2 plays later, I don't think
that was right after they had a punt.
Yep. And then Darnold threw a pick on the second play of the series. If Darnold doesn't get intercepted there and Minnesota puts like a decent drive together where they get a field goal out of it, I don't think Rodgers would have came back in. I think it was more so that the ball was intercepted at Minnesota's 35-yard line. Rodgers like, okay, I'll try to come in and get a touchdown, which they got the touchdown out of it. But outside of that, it was pretty much nothing.
Yeah. I mean, he was hurting. He wasn't hurting all day though. Although it was his press conference was funny though, because he's like, oh yeah, there's a lot of things that made noise on the way to the ground.
And then he's like, I just found out today that I threw for the first time in my career, I threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter. So I guess I got that going for me today. That's something I never expected to see.
Yep. Yeah. No, he didn't play well, but I mean, he hasn't played well in a while. So,
and he's damn old. I mean, no lie, the guy's just old.
I want to give a shout out to the Vikings rookie kicker though, Will Reichert. That's kind of been one of Minnesota's issues the last couple of years, is having a consistent kicking game where they've lost countless playoff games because they miss field goals.
Sure.
But,
Are you really giving a shout out to a goddamn kicker?
well, I was gonna
Shut the hell up! Shut the hell up! Nobody cares about the kicking.
The guy is
Stop!
seven
Stop!
for 7 in field goals over 50 yards
no.
so far.
I would rather hear about your high school baseball team than you giving a shout out about a kicker.
On this note, though, Washington's no joke. They look good. They look good.
Give a rookie quarterback a competent offensive coordinator in Cliff Kingsbury, and look what happens.
Yeah, just wait till he gets hit one time. He hasn't been hit at all, really. He hasn't had many sacks or anything. Like even as he's running down the sideline, he was running down the sideline, and the guy just gave a little like tap to push him out of bounds. Like, hit that son of a bitch.
That's
I
right.
don't know. They got so many dang rules.
15-yarder, make him earn it.
Being a quarterback, I don't blame the guy for almost tapping it because you probably don't want to get a damn penalty.
Well, since
Like,
we're
no,
off,
or whatever.
You absolutely do that. Like the way that the way we were coached is like, if you're going to get a penalty,
Smack him.
Oh, yeah,
Smack him.
Yeah, I
Get
get
You
it.
know what? You're going to get a 15-yarder. You're not
Yep.
doing anything wrong.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You're just hitting him hard. He was in bounds.
Yep.
He didn't go out of bounds. You could have, instead of just pushing him out of bounds with a little,
that
you could have smacked him.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, you get that 15-yarder and you do it early, because then you're in their head all day. Right?
But
Like
you're right. You're
that
absolutely
yarder
right.
was worth it. So no, you'd go out and you'd absolutely light someone up in the beginning. And then from there, they think about it.
well, since we're on
think about
this,
it.
since we're
I
on
mean,
this
you
game,
got
can we talk
Dustin over
about?
here teaching kids to throw at batters.
Yeah, I am.
If you can't strike them out, just beat them.
Since we're on the Cleveland and Washington game, can we talk about Deshaun Watson basically quitting on his team mid-play yesterday?
Yeah,
I
that
know
was
he always
wild,
started.
right?
Did he always start? I thought he quit it from the beginning.
No. He legitimately like left.
It
in
was
the
a
middle of
it
the
was a 24-3 game. Washington was up 24-3.
Yeah.
It was, I think, a 4th and 2 at the Washington 39 or 38 yard line, which is too deep for a field goal, but it's kind of one of those spots where it's too close to punt, so you have to go for it.
Yeah.
Kevin Stefanski call the timeout right before it to basically come up with a play for 4th down. So because Stefanski's going for it, there's 4 seconds left on the play clock, and the ball still hasn't been snapped, so the announcers are like, they can't afford to use another timeout here. Deshaun Watson walks off the field mid-play and takes a delay a game.
Yeah, just straight up.
Didn't even call the timeout, just literally left the field, walked off the sideline, takes it to Leah game for the punt.
Yeah, took his
And then-
helmet off. Just
Yep.
like
And Stefanski's
was-
looking at him like, what the fuck are you doing?
like it was wild. It was wild.
I'm gonna go get myself a massage.
That's pretty much
Yeah.
what he was thinking. He literally, like, his helmet was, I'm surprised they didn't actually throw a flag for a 15-yard penalty because he took his helmet off before he got to the sidelines. Like, he literally just checked out. He's like, nope, we're done here. And walked
Yeah,
off. And
I
Stefanski's
think-
like, what are you
I
doing?
think the only reason they didn't is because they got the delay.
Yeah.
Like
Well-
the flag was already out.
Like
Yeah.
Stefanski's a very like mild-mannered head coach. Like he gets angry, but he doesn't get angry like a lot of these other coaches do. That
No,
was
he was
legit.
visibly-
That was legitimately the first time in his 5 years at Cleveland where I thought he was about to lose his shit on a player.
and he should have.
Well, I mean, you would. The leader of your team just quit. I mean, how do you not get pissed?
So-
So did he go back out and play again anymore afterwards?
I mean, he did, but the guy was what 13 to 27 for 148 yards passing. So did he really show up and play anyways?
Well, no, I mean
Well,
that's
I
the
don't
thing is I don't know why you would have let him back in the game after that. Like,
That's-
I don't know why you even let it back to
Yeah.
his locker room. I just take his damn helmet and say, "Hey, you're out of here, man."
yeah, no, that's the thing is you'd just be like, oh, okay, this is what we're doing. You're done for the day.
Like at this point, if I'm Cleveland, I cut his ass and just eat that contract.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Because
saying.
he's not helping you at all.
Right.
He's hurting you more than he's helping you. And right,
Or
I mean,
try to trade him and see what you can get.
You
Either
ain't getting
way,
shit.
I mean,
Nobody-
he would be
nobody
done
would
as a Brown.
nobody would take him at this point. If you've seen how bad he's played this
Oh,
year, then
no one's taking
no
that.
one would even, no one would take him.
No,
That's what
not
I'm
a
saying.
chance.
So at the end of the day, I think, like you said, you just cut him beneath the contract. I mean, nothing about fully guaranteed contracts. I mean, he probably thought, well, I got my fully guaranteed $200 million. I mean, I'm good.
But Cleveland, that's why Cleveland kind of has this in the driver's seat a little bit too, because of the accusations that have now been filed against Deshaun Watson that the NFL is looking into.
Yeah,
If
they hope they're true.
Yeah, like if they cut him, they're hoping these things come out true because then they don't owe Watson.
Oh, for sure. Then it gets him off the hook.
Yeah, or right now at this point, I would just suspend Watson and just be like, you're suspended for X amount of games. We're going to start Jameis Winston the next 3-4 games and see if these accusations are true. And if they're true, bye-bye.
I mean, they might actually have a better shot at playing better, under Winston. I mean, sometimes it happens.
At least he's going to go down swinging.
Right.
The thing is you'd at least see some effort. I think that's probably the biggest thing at this point with Deshaun is it doesn't even look like he's really trying because it's not like his game is getting better or anything like that. I mean, just about anybody in the league, you could be a third stringer and put up 150 yards in this league.
Yeah.
Like, the rules allow that. I mean,
and if you're Houston Texans management, they're probably thinking to themselves, man, I'm glad we got rid of that shit show.
Well, I mean, of course.
Hey, damn.
That was some years ago at this point. But
but I mean, they're probably thinking like, wow, that was the best thing ever to get rid of that guy.
Oh, no doubt. And Joe, we will talk about the Seahawks here in a little while. But it's I don't know how you let him back out on the field. Like, as a coach.
And this comes 1 week after he basically publicly announced on Twitter that why would I call more design runs for myself? I'm not a running back. I'm a quarterback. If your coach is calling a design run, you take the fucking design run.
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
He's basically trying to get out of Cleveland. And if you're trying to get out of Cleveland, no team is going to pick you up at this point for how bad you have played.
Oh, no question.
Well, that and plus your attitude. I mean, all of it, right? I mean, the whole nine. I mean, it's one thing to have bad play, but to have a bad attitude or whatever they can't think about the game, that's even worse.
See, that's what's wild to me, right? Like if you were wildly underpaid, I get the bad attitude going to work, right? Like we've all had jobs where we didn't get paid enough and the job sucked, right? You're getting 230 guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
To play for a team that has a good enough roster to win.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Why wouldn't you be trying to go win? Because, I mean, you're getting the money either way. How about you get out of there with some hardware too? Now it's the Browns. I don't think they're going to do it, but it's still like, why wouldn't you be putting maximum effort in rather than just kind of lackadaisically going around the field and then, deciding, I'm just giving up on this play altogether. Because there was still time to try at least a comeback, right? I mean, they weren't going to get there, but there was at least enough time in the game when he did it to do it.
Yeah.
Because
Miles Garrett or even Amari Cooper and company. I mean, you got to be thinking like, man, we're wasting our years under this bullshit.
Yeah, I feel like that's just the Browns, though. Like that's where your career goes to die.
Well, the thing is,
I agree. I agree.
Well, Stefanski has already said that he's not benching Watson, but I think a lot of that, I don't think it's even in his control at this point. I think a lot of that has to do with the Browns' ownership for what they gave up to get Watson and how much they're paying Watson. Even if Stefanski said he wants to bench him, I don't think he has a choice.
Good point.
The hell with that, right? Because this guy's going to cost you your job if you're the head coach.
It would, but without having Nick Chubb right now, I think his job was safe regardless this year, just because of how important Nick Chubb is to that offense.
It's not even just that. It just ruins your ability to get your next job.
Yeah, that way.
Your next job is going to look at your winning percentage, and if your winning percentage looks like you just shit the bed as a coach the whole time, right? Like context doesn't necessarily matter years later. Right? Like when you look back at stats, you don't look at the nuance of why the stat was the way it was. You just look at a win percentage and you're like, oh, okay, you just weren't a very good coach. And so, I would be like, hey, at the end of the day, we have a good enough roster to win some games. We have a backup that can win us some games. Not that I think he's great, but you'll at least get effort from it.
I mean, he's better than what Watson's been showing.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, if I'm Nick Chubb and I'm trying to come back from injury, I wouldn't want to come back to this place. I mean, if I'm Nick Chubb, I'd probably say, look, either trade me or give me something better than what you guys got out there right now. Because there's no sense me trying to rush back out this leg injury under this kind of crap. I mean, damn.
I mean, even though he lost yesterday in Jacksonville, a 42-year-old Joe Flacco looked better than Deshaun Watson yesterday.
Oh, for
Oh,
sure.
no question.
And
No
like
question.
Joe Flacco was the backup last year who got him into the playoffs. So it's just like coming into the offseason, I felt Cleveland never should have let Joe Flacco walk. I thought they should have brought him back on another 1-year deal where if the team gets off to a 1-4 start, you can put Flacco in there because you were in the same situation last year where the Browns were sitting at 2-5 or whatever when Watson started to struggle, and then Flacco came in the last 5 games and Cleveland went 5-0 to make the playoffs.
Well, I think that's why they went with the backup they did, because at least the style of play is closer, so you don't have to change the way your offensive line blocks and all of that. When this would be, kind of funny, but also you'd be a little bit worried that he'd get excited about it.
I mean, he would pull up.
Hey,
I'm going to say it.
for somebody else.
I mean, if you tried to rough him up in the locker room, all he would do is just call P. Diddy for all the baby oil.
Oh, man.
Are we going Diddy already? That's early. We haven't even got to the halfway point yet.
I know, right?
Great commercial break.
It would be like it would be like that scene in Joe Dirt with the guy in the hole.
all of a sudden, this is the late night show. Like, what?
Why don't I feel like there's a buffalo coming up to a bar saying, "What the fuck, Marty?"
Exactly.
I'll tell you one thing though. Hey, for as crazy as this NFL week has been, the amount of upsets in college football, particularly Alabama, shit in the bed, was amazingly awesome to watch.
That was pretty great.
I mean, literally. Every top team was,
I love the fact that they took it at, like an hour down the road. They went like an hour down the road with the goalpost.
They literally took it downtown.
Yeah, and threw that thing in the river.
They took it downtown Nashville, down the main street in Nashville, past all the bars. They carried the goalpost all the way down that main street in Nashville, right where Nissan Stadium is, and they dumped it in the river.
I mean, be honest with you. I mean, I would too. I mean, that was one hell of a victory. I mean, why would you not want to celebrate and go through Nashville? I mean, that's party central. I'm just glad at least nobody looked like they got hurt. I mean, be honest with you.
There is that.
Damn. And then, of course, then you got Army and Navy right now leading the AAC for the first time ever. I mean, it's just been a crazy, college season already up to date.
Army's got the longest winning streak in the nation right now, too.
Yeah.
Army.
That's incredible.
Yeah, Army's 5-0 this year. They won their final 5 games of the year last year. They have a 10-game winning streak right now to have the longest winning streak in the nation.
Oh, that's right. They did win at the last second. Yes, last year against Navy. I thought Navy beat them last year.
No killer.
Army finished the year 8-4 or 9-3 last year, but they won their final 5 games last year and they've gotten off to a 5-0 start this year. They have the longest winning streak in the nation because Alabama lost. You had Michigan who lost already this year. Like all the teams that were undefeated last year either lost late last year or early this season.
Yeah, in fact, they collected their second loss against Washington this weekend.
With Michael Penix in attendance.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, he was because the Falcons had their bye this week, so Michael Penix was there.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, no, that was pretty great because I have friends that are Michigan fans that were talking a lot of shit. And
yeah, Michigan's what, number 24 now at this point? And SMU is 25.
SMU looks good since they made that quarterback switch.
Yeah, they do. They honestly do.
It was funny, though, because I just had nothing for them, right? Because I was just like, we lost our coaching. We lost most of our returning students. And, the Huskies found a way to lose to Rutgers. And
but I mean, you guys at least have a decent, you guys have a pretty solid quarterback, though, because Will Rogers was a good quarterback at Mississippi State. So even though you lost, a lot of your talented weapons, you still need a good quarterback to be successful in college football, and that's something you've done in the transfer portal. You brought in Will Rogers.
No. It's a solid team, but it's not a championship level team, right? And so the Michigan fans were funny because they were like, "Oh yeah, I can't believe we're being slighted so much going into the season," because they were mad that they were ranked 10th, right? And so they've been talking down to Husky fans a lot because they're like, "Oh, you guys weren't even ranked," and all of this, and it's like, well, yeah, and we shouldn't be. To be fair, the Huskies shouldn't be ranked, but so this win was hilarious.
Yeah, the game of the week next week's in the Big Ten, though.
I don't know. To say that when you got the Red River shootout between Oklahoma and Texas,
because it's number 2 Ohio State versus number 3 Oregon.
Exactly.
That's the game. That's the game of the week. Whoever
That's
wins that's in the driver's seat to win the Big Ten.
yeah,
No question.
Miami came back and won that game 39-38. I thought they were down. I thought they were going to
yeah,
lose
they
that game.
are.
Yeah,
24-point comeback.
That's my favorite to win the Heisman this year because Cam Ward's playing out of his damn mind right now.
Any relation to the Ward quarterback? What's his name? Quarterback from the 90s.
Charlie Ward? No,
Charlie Ward.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I
I
don't know
can
either.
look. I can look.
You are stat guy. That's what I'm asking.
No, because Cam Ward came from Washington State, but I'm trying to remember where Charlie.
Yeah,
Ward,
Tennessee got beat by Arkansas.
yeah.
USC gone off the list. Michigan off the list.
Yep.
No, it's a kind of a wild just year, right? Like think just in the NFL, how many upsets have been over the last, the opening 5 weeks. Like it's been.
Speaking of which, suicide picks. I've been in the same suicide league for 2 years now.
Sure.
Last year, there was a 4-way tie. We all lost in the same week, and we split the money.
Sure.
This year, it's already down to 2 people,
I
me
believe it.
and somebody else. And if the Chiefs lose tonight, which I suspect that they will now, I think they're going to lose tonight.
Sure.
I will win again in week 5.
No, it's wild. Like it makes no sense.
The 49ers losing yesterday helped. Two
Yeah.
guys out. Now I got one guy left because I chose Washington this week.
Okay. All right.
Which was a good pick on my part.
No doubt.
and Cam.
You're going up against Casey.
Cam
Because I
Ward-
do it with a girlfriend of mine. She's like just a girlfriend who's a friend of mine, and she said Seattle, and I'm like, I don't like Seattle this week. I like Washington this week.
Yeah. No, I mean, going into that game, that's why I was like, man, Seattle should win, but it's not going to be a blowout. Like this will be a much closer game than it should be. And then they just didn't show up at all. So we had that going for us.
Cam Ward is not related to Charlie Ward.
Right.
Okay.
Is it
Good
time
enough.
for it then?
That being said, we're at the halfway point. Brings us to True Fusion Gym right here in the Pacific Northwest. They have 3 locations in Bellevue, Ballard, and University Village. You use the QR code on the screen and get a free 5-day pass at any of the 3 locations. Pilates, boot camp, yoga, bar, and more, including hot rooms. Find your edge at True Fusion Gym. And of course, if you are into sports betting, you can bet right alongside us here at Coast to Coast. Using the QR code on the screen, get 125% of your initial deposit, up to 3 of those. There's also a 10% bet guarantee if you happen to suck at betting. And, if you're playing this year with the amount of upsets, there's a very good chance that you're not good at it. So use the QR code. Again, 125% of your initial 3 deposits. All right.
What a time to be alive, man. Jeez.
Oh, man. So, yeah, to answer Joe's question a little bit earlier. So the Seahawks, it was interesting because you thought that they were going to be able to run the ball on them with the amount of injuries there were in the middle up front. Running the ball was going to be easy because they were bad at run defense, even when everybody was healthy. So that was going to be a feature of the game. But then when you look at the entirety of the game, the team just didn't show up. There was no offensive production at all. This score actually should have been much worse than it was. That fumble that was returned 102 yards, based on the camera angle that it had, very easily could have been called a touchdown for the Giants. But yeah, I think it was in the second quarter, the Giants had already put up roughly 176, 179 yards. And the entirety of the offense for Seattle had, I think it was like 46 yards. So it just had absolutely nothing going on. fast forward to the end of the game, although there really should have been a flag on the play, special teams, they block a kick, return that for a touchdown, which is how it ended up 29-20. And they got beat in all three phases of the game. They did not look prepared for this. It's almost like they were looking at the 49ers already. They just didn't come with this game in mind, and they made the Giants look like a competent team. And you got to play bad for that to be a thing. So it just a frustrating game to watch if you're a Hawks fan, or if you just happen to enjoy good football. It just wasn't a good game top to bottom.
No, but yeah, especially when Slayton was going off. I mean, that guy was just catching his lights off, man. It's just all over the place catching the ball.
They looked like the Dallas defense in the playoff game. Like you didn't have anybody near the plays. Like everybody out of position, over pursuing, wouldn't tackle.
Yeah.
Like it was like the whole time I'm just yelling at my TV. My wife was like, "Oh, it sounds like you're going to have a heart attack." I was like, "If they would just fucking play football, it wouldn't be so bad."
And with that loss, they remain in first place in the West.
Yeah.
They do, because everybody lost. I mean, you knew the Rams were going to lose, but I didn't see Arizona getting that done, especially with the double-digit deficit they were in the third quarter. Like they really came back and sneak that win. But that being said, the league just had a lot of last second victories. Like there was an overtime win, a couple of last second, plays that sealed games. It was there was a lot of games that were a coin flip.
Yeah, there was. I did like the Texas. I like the Detroit. That solid black with the black helmet. Oh, that was a beautiful uniform, man. I got to tell you.
Okay, I would not be opposed to Houston sticking with those uniforms the rest of the way.
Yeah, I thought
those
Houston's
uniforms
was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Those uniforms were sick.
yeah. I mean, it really seems like a lot of these teams that are going to these all black uniforms. I really like the all black with the with the logos and stuff. I mean, it looks really nice on them. Or even just a solid like white unit with the. I mean, those combinations just look really good when it's all one color. Much better than what the other stuff they got.
Yeah, I mean, and you would have thought that it would help your team not throw to the other team, but
You would think.
Yeah, I mean, Josh Allen looked great yesterday, didn't he?
I mean, let's be honest. You get even like that Oregon bright, solid yellow uniform with the black helmet. I mean, there's no way you should be able to miss that guy.
out there looking like a highlighter. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. But I can tell you though, man, I know Nike lives up there, and so they get all the great uniforms, but Oregon really does have a lot of badass uniforms. I mean, I like the different multi-looks, you never look, it's never the same. I mean, it's just.
Not Nike, J, Under Armour.
Is it Under Armour? My bad. Okay, I thought it was Nike a bit. Well, my
That's-
bad, Under Armour.
That's their main recruiting pitch to when they go after like high school seniors. Their main recruiting pitch is you have the best of the best facilities because of Under Armour, and you will never wear the same uniform twice when you are here at Oregon.
I sworn it was Nike.
Well, no. Oregon is
that
Nike. That's where their headquarters is.
I thought it was Under Armour though. Is it Under Armour?
No,
Okay,
that's Nike. Yeah.
So
no,
either,
I thought it was Nike.
yeah, either way, they said they have over 75 different uniform combinations that they've had. So whenever they go like pitch recruits, they said you will never wear the same uniform combination more than once.
Who's this?
Oregon.
yeah, the Ducks.
They have 75 different uniform combinations.
Yeah, and 3/4 of them suck. Because that's like watching Seattle playing in the neon green.
Yeah.
That's like somebody, should out, like put the boogie on to the fucking day. They said that's what we're doing. That's what we're using.
I don't like any of the color rush jerseys, honestly. You have Denver with just they look like an orange popsicle. Like I'm not a big fan of the color rush jerseys. I never really liked them though. But yeah, no, the Ducks. The Ducks definitely have some pretty crazy combinations. I did like their chrome helmets that they used.
The chrome helmets with the yellow wings.
They're pretty sick.
Or the highlighter yellow with the chrome wings.
Yeah, that one was kind of cool. But like the full-on chrome helmet, I was like, that's pretty sick. Like that's
Yeah.
Cincinnati had cool uniforms yesterday too.
I didn't see
bad.
So you had like the black jerseys that they usually have with the tiger stripes across the shoulder, but instead of going with the white pants, they went with orange pants with the tiger stripes across the side of those.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
They actually looked really cool.
I like it. I like the jersey. When the jersey matches the pants, I like that look better than the off brand with the stripes going down the side. I don't know. To me they look cleaner.
You don't want it to look like you raided a Walmart? I got you. It's fine. I got some blue pants and this yellow shirt. Yeah, I got you. It's that discount rack.
Oh man, listen. We were kids growing up, that's where we lived. Walmart discount rack. Well, at that time it was Kmart. But
Oh yeah, the blue light special with the clearance rack.
listen, man, I thought everybody shopped blue light until I got to school and got made fun of, and I realized, damn, I'm the only motherfucker at the blue light.
The thing that cracks me up, like when you think back to when we were kids, like Champion shirts and stuff, those were the you got them almost free, right? Like you.
Now you can't anymore though.
No, they're like $50 for a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wait a minute, that was the stuff you'd get made fun of if you were wearing it if you were a kid.
Yeah. You shop at the blue light. We shop. Where you shop? Target. Target. You must be a rich bastard. Huh. Okay. Wow.
Yep. Yeah, you were fancy if you went to like J.C. Penney.
Oh yeah. Oh man, don't even get me started on J.C. Penney.
Man.
Yeah, what a time, man. Oh, what you go to visible back here, like if you got your haircut at Visible Changes, you were the rich person. If you're at Johnny Q barbershop where the barbershop's like 80 years old, yeah, you smell like Old Spice aftershave when you come out, and you're only like 14. Shit.
See, you were still fancy. It's when your parents were cutting your hair. That's
man, yeah. My brother-in-law cuts my nephew's hair. He does I ain't gonna lie, the guy actually does a pretty good job. I mean, but it's not really hard because their hair. He lets the kids grow their hair long, so I mean, it's just.
I mean, that's just trimming it up. Yeah, that's no big deal.
Yeah. But now the person got the BP job. Now he's got to have that corporate look, and it just don't look the same.
So I got a question for you guys. You know what? That's unrelated to sports, but need an answer to this, and maybe some of the intelligent viewers that we have could help out with this.
Yeah,
as well.
you should get a shot record before you go to the hotels in New York. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, if you're looking for an intelligent answer, you probably need to search the comments.
Yeah, because it ain't coming from Jay. So.
Oh man, that's okay though, man. Hey, you gotta have intelligence. Sometimes common sense will do you. It's fine.
What do you got?
So I don't know if you've noticed any of my videos. I have TickPick as a sponsor.
Yes.
And I have been using their putting a sticker here.
Yep.
On the side of my jersey, which sounds like a great thing. It actually works most of the time, or half the time, or a portion of the time. However, it's not sticking very well anymore.
Why can't you just
as I move around,
on?
Well, I can't safety pin the sticker on.
You can't just stick it through, like make a hole to stick it through the hole, or even like hole punch it. Like you do like a hole punch and then just hole punch it into the jersey.
No, don't wreck the jersey. What are you talking about?
Well, I mean, it's just a pinfall. I mean, it's not like you're just.
No, I understand what he's trying to say there. I can't use. No, that will not work.
Okay.
So I need, I was thinking about trying to glue a pin to maybe a piece of plastic, like a hard piece of plastic or a board or something that I would be able to.
Well, okay, let me ask you this: what if and I know you can get them at Walmart. They come with little circle, little circle magnets, and just glue the magnet there, and then just magnet it to the jersey.
I'm not going to glue a magnet to my jersey.
No, I'm not saying glue the magnet to the jersey. Glue the magnet to the sticker, and then put the backside of the magnet on the jersey. You're not gonna. It's like you don't adhere the magnet to the jersey, and then you just stick the two magnets together. You know what I'm saying? Like where fabric is in between. That's what my wife does when she goes to school for her little name badge.
Yeah,
her name badge has the magnet, and then there's another independent magnet, and you just and then the fabric's just in between the two magnets.
Yeah,
then you're not gluing anything to anything.
Okay. Let him talk now.
that is exactly the way I was going to say you do it. Is you put your sticker on one of the basically like the magnets for like a business card, right? And then they have the name tag magnets, and you wouldn't actually have to glue it to anything. You just put it on the inside of the jersey, and it'll crimp the jersey in between.
And I get what you're saying here, but you're talking about like a magnet, like this flimsy style magnet.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. Walmart's got the magnets, and they're like a 1/4-inch thick. And you put you put one magnet on the thing, and you put the other magnet behind your shirt, and you magnet.
Yeah.
Well, and it won't fall off. You don't think?
No,
Like that?
those magnets are strong.
Yeah.
I'll
So
tell you right now, my wife is a teacher with 5th graders, and they climb on you like a all over the place, and them magnets stay on like a champ.
yeah, I've had to wear them going through like secure areas of buildings, working on them. And, that's what they give you so that you can still do your job and you don't have to worry about like the hello, my name is falling off your shirt or anything like that. The magnets are no joke.
Can you see this?
I can see it. Yeah, sort of.
Those are the magnets I'm talking about. You just glue one to the sticker, and the other one just goes behind your shirt. And then, so when you put the sticker to the shirt, the 2 magnets will pull themselves, and they don't pull apart.
They actually have a version of those that
And it's actually called extra strength.
Hey, can I ask you a really personal question really quick?
what ADD meds he's on, or what are we talking about?
When did you decide to hang out with Caleb Williams for your manicure?
Me?
Oh, he's been doing that for weeks, man.
Well, today it's the Astros. I mean, they haven't come. They haven't. Obviously, they lost, but I still wear them because I'm in mourning right now. So
I thought
about painting my damn fingernails. What's it to you?
No, because it looked like Bears colors. That's why I asked. I'm like, if you were going to do it Cowboys colors or something. Or Texas.
No.
Well, and I did do it the
He's
last time I
sponsored,
did it.
he's
I had
sponsored by
Cowboys.
M&M's. That's actually what it is.
No, I knew he was painting his nails for a while. I just because of the color scheme. I'm like, when did you start hanging out with Caleb Williams and getting the Bear colors?
Oh no, that's just blue, white, and orange.
But in any event, to answer your question, they have ones that the magnets that go to the inside of the shirt are actually grouped together in plastic. So it's basically like a plate that has multiple magnets. And then the name tag side has adhesive. So you'd actually be able to stick the sticker to it and it would, clamp the jersey in between. So that would be the best way to go.
Okay. So, I mean, I have to give it a shot at this point because it's not working otherwise. You know what I mean? Like I've been carrying a couple of stickers with me each game. And
yeah, I saw those things on there. It didn't look good because I know what you were trying to do, but because when you're on your badge, the ends were kind of curling up.
They start to curl up a little bit, and then as I move around because I'm like, doing this or whatever, it starts to pop off. Now, interestingly enough,
it wasn't exactly the look of an
ones.
icon, and you're an icon, and we need more iconic shit.
So
it's iconic stuff. But I think what he's talking about, what I'm talking about, either one of those 2 methods packs, honestly, for real, will actually it will. And when you do glue the magnet on it, use that super glue because it has that real thinness to it, but it's super strong. So that way the magnet won't start peeling off of the label.
Okay. Well, I'll give it a shot. It ain't gonna hurt.
Yeah.
I'm intelligent. I got some intelligence. Ain't much, but I got a little bit of it.
There you go. Just what I was thinking.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Because you know what? From you, that's a damn compliment. I take it all.
And it should be taken as such.
Don't be mean, Bo. That's not your role on the show. You're the nice guy.
I'm just here. That's it.
With that bag of popcorn at the ready.
Always. You never know how early it's going to go off the rails. You just know that it's going.
You just know it's coming.
Man.
I just thought it was hilarious, man, about the whole, I mean, look, and I'll be honest with you, I know the expectation of the Cowboys. We all know the expectation of the Cowboys, right? So, I mean, it is what it is this year for us. But but it really blows my mind, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the Philadelphia. I'm really not. When the Commanders are at the
I'm not
top
trying
of
to
our
be, but I'm
division,
gonna be.
think about that. I mean, when the Commanders, the fact-based thing is when the Commanders are at the top of our division, it really just makes me scratch my head thinking like, damn, what is going on? Literally, I mean, what's going on? I mean, I know Jalen Daniels is a good quarterback and all and stuff, but good Lord.
Well, no,
I didn't see this coming.
They're playing good team football. Like that.
I mean, no, you're right. I mean, when McLaurin actually has a guy that can get him the ball, then it really does open up the run game, and everything else kind of falls into place. You know,
Yeah,
I mean,
football. It's the way it's supposed to be
well,
played.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be, right? But we all know that that's not all the way it's the case.
No, but that's why they're playing well, because no one else in that division is playing complete football right now.
Well, and the other thing is too with Dan Quinn, though, if you go back to his track record in Atlanta before everything fell apart, when he had the most success he had, it was always like complementary football. Like he had a very high-powered offense with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and like that offense back in 2017. But they also had a defense that year that led the NFL in sacks. They also had a kicker who was the most accurate kicker inside 50 yards that year. Like whenever Dan Quinn's been successful, he's had that complementary football, and usually it's 1 year, maybe 2 years at most, where he has like all those pieces working together. And right now he's got all those pieces working together because he's got a good offensive coordinator with him. He's got a good defensive coordinator that knows how to execute the scheme that he's put in place.
Absolutely.
I mean, when you look at championships, it's very rare for it not to be a team that plays good complementary football. Does it happen? Sure. Is it an outlier? Absolutely.
Yeah. And one thing is, for Cowboys organization is, I want you to look at Washington. The minute they got rid of Dan Snyder, that team started looking like on the up and up. Everything just started to get better within that organization. And I hope, maybe Stephen Jones can look at that, but it ain't going to happen. I mean, but that's what the Cowboys did. Seriously, but that's but the way I see what's going on in Washington.
Where this was going.
What's going on in Washington is exactly what I'd like to have go on at the Cowboys. I mean, we need new ownership for us to be able to finally turn the page and get better and hire the right people in the management spots. And that's exactly what Washington is doing now that, Snyder's not there.
Okay. But it could also go the other way if you look at the
It could. But, 3 decades of the same stuff, I'm ready for it to go, even if it does go the other way. Hell.
I mean, I don't know. It depends on who you get at the helm. So,
well, again, you're going to hire the right people. You're going to want to bring in the right people is what I'm getting at. And that's what Washington has done. They like Stat Guy was saying, Dan Quinn, right coordinator, right, coordinators on both sides. I mean, they're hiring the right people, man. And that's what even the Texans, when, the Texans went through all of their stuff, they brought in the right coach, right things of that nature. And now look at this. This team has turned around within a year, and
well, the Texans have always had like a good ownership group, though. Like even
I'm not about the ownership. I'm just saying, like, they brought in the right coaches and things like that. I mean, that's what you need in an organization. Well, they not just bring somebody in, but make sure you're bringing the right people in.
Well, they've always done that though, because you went from Clint Kubiak in Houston, who was there for I think 7 or 8 years, and they made the playoffs 5 straight years in Houston. Then they brought in Bill O'Brien, who was a good head coach for the first couple of years there that he made 3 playoff appearances, but then when they gave him the GM job is when he started to kind of fall apart.
That's what I'm saying. Them Texans always made the right decisions on some of that. But
like every head coach that they brought in after Dom Capers, who was the first coach they ever had, they made the playoffs with every coach that they've had there. So it's not like they.
Well, I went to that press conference when they had the press conference in Houston when they were announcing that they were. This is before the expansion draft, and they brought in Charlie Casserly, by the way, from the Redskins and things like that. And their big spiel from Bob McNair was, we're going to have the right people. We're not going to be quick to hire. We're going to do our research. And and it seems for the most part, they really have kind of done that. I mean, I don't know. The Bill O'Brien at the coach level was good. When they tried to make him a GM, I thought they kind of went off the rails there. But for the most part, you're right. I mean, the Texans have been somewhat methodical about what they've done, right? For the most part, right?
Like Dom Capers, they knew wasn't going to have any success when he took over because they were an expansion team. But at the same time, Dom Capers was 55, 56 years old when they gave him the head coach. So he kind of knew that, hey, I'm here for the rebuild. I'm here just to build this team up. And when they get to the point where they're ready to contend, I know I'm not going to be here. And that's exactly what he did. He built that team up. And then when it got to the point where, okay, we have enough talent where we can go compete now, then they gave him basically the door and brought in Kubiak to basically change that offense and brought in Matt Schaub and Andre Johnson and all those pieces.
Yeah.
I'm reading a couple of things on Instagram here that guys are getting kicked out of preseason basketball games and stuff like that. It's a wild world out there.
Yeah, it's getting
I
there.
like how was it Robert Griffin for Houston decided to quit basketball to follow his religious beliefs, and I'm like
AJ Griffin.
or AJ Griffin. I apologize, but he quits basketball so he can go follow his religious beliefs, and I'm like, bro, is that really the reason why, or are you just horrible?
No, it really is. Because do you remember where AJ Griffin came from? Jay,
Do you remember who?
where AJ Griffin
So
came
there
from?
is a lot of season left. You shouldn't give up yet.
AJ Griffin was drafted from Duke, but before he got to Duke, he was at Southern Methodist.
Yeah.
So if he is saying that he's leaving because of like religious beliefs, I believe it just because he's from Southern Methodist. So he came from a religious school. That's also in the Houston
No,
area.
hey, if he is reliever for religious beliefs, I mean, that's fine. That's fine. You know, I was just thinking it was a little bit more the other way, or maybe at least, a little bit more the other way was influencing him to go that other direction.
And that brings us to the top of the hour. If you're leaving something for religious reasons, Jay doesn't like it, but the rest of us don't care. If you're here on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. Helps us bring our stuff to you. And of course, if you're watching on Roku, stay tuned for the next hour. Other than that, we will mostly see you tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone.